Hey guys, welcome to another video of me making stuff and doing things as a way to stay off of my phone and quit doom scrolling. Today I'm going to be making a gift for my nephew, and that will be an adorable reversible bucket hat. Before I get too ahead of myself, I want to show you the pattern that I chose. I love this one because it highlights exactly what you're cutting out on the page, so you don't get too confused. But there's a brim, the top of the hat, the crown, and then there's some optional ears and a size chart. I will also pop a screenshot right here of the shop that I got this pattern from on Etsy. So just want to show you really quickly the fabrics that I chose and kind of what I'm doing. My nephew loves Spider-Man, and this is a superhero themed party, so I thought it would be fitting to get some superhero fabric. And since it's a reversible hat, this will be the inside, and I got some red for the outside because I'm going to do Spider-Man eyes on it. I'm super excited. Never made a bucket hat and never embellished like extra features on something before. So two things I haven't tackled before, but I am excited to try. So here are all four fabrics laid out that I will be working with. From my understanding, I basically need to make a bucket hat out of two fabrics and then sew them together. And then just before I sew those together, I would have to top stitch the eyes onto the hat. So a couple things I need to do. I need to cut out the pattern for the right size, and I need to find a template for the Spider-Man eyes. Before I start cutting, yes, these are fabric scissors. No, I do not use them on fabric, so please do not come for me. Okay, so I will need to cut this pattern out twice, once on this fabric and once on my red. A couple of these say to cut on a fold. Just want to double check here. Place on fold, place on fold, place on fold. So everything needs to be cut on a fold. I think I'm going to pin this down so it does not move while I'm cutting. And these are my fabric cutting scissors that I actually use for fabric. So I finished cutting out the first one. Now I'm just cutting out all of the same pieces on my red. So last piece I need to cut out for the brim is the fusible interfacing, but just, I believe it said 1/4 inch smaller. So I'm going to eyeball that. Before I get too far, I want to see how this interfacing is supposed to work. To me, it looks like there's a backing, maybe. Or maybe that's just the fusible part. No, 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 I saw. Okay. I've never used fusible interfacing before, so I just want to see how this works. If I'm supposed to iron this side. Let me read the instructions. Place and hold iron on the paper liner for 2 seconds. Ah. So you're supposed to leave the paper liner on. We'll take our iron to it. I'm scared. 2 seconds. Well, that didn't feel like it did anything. I don't think 2 seconds is enough. Okay, I don't think I have my iron up hot enough. I'm sure I'm not supposed to touch that immediately. Okay, so that's warm. That seems like it's on there now. Is the paper, oh, the paper's supposed to come off. Interesting. Oh, so it does give it like a little bit of stability. That is really cool because it doesn't look like it would do much of anything. But that'll definitely make a difference in the brim of a hat. Okay, I'm gonna try using it. So 2 things. One, I cannot find a template for Spider-Man eyes that is printable, so I'm gonna have to draw them myself. And second thing, I completely missed that it says cut 2 on 2 of these pieces. So I need to go back and cut some more pieces and figure out how I'm going to draw Spider-Man eyes that fit on this part of the hat. I was just about to cut my doubles that I forgot to cut, and then I realized that what I already cut, this will be the brim, and all of the superheroes are upside down. So now I not only need to cut another one, I need to cut another one. Now I'm gonna work on the eyes. I cut that black fabric so that it was just about the size of the red one. That way I had a template to stay on. So I'm gonna try to just freehand draw with some fabric chalk and see what I can come up with. And since there's also a back and a front, the pieces are exactly the same, but since there is a back and a front, I want to try and make sure I stay on this front piece. So the tip of the eyes, I don't want to go any further than kind of the edge of this fabric. I think even that might be a little bit too far. We'll see what we come up with here. So for the white, since my white chalk is not going to show up on there, I'm just going to cut around the black piece that I've already cut and then cut off like maybe a 1/4 inch. And hopefully that is enough eye for the inside. So the idea is kind of that. something like that. I'm gonna trim up that white a little bit. I'm gonna also have to cut down the black, it looks like, but I think we're on the right track. Okay, so I've done some trimming. I hope that looks recognizable enough as Spider-Man. I'm not sewing this down quite yet, so I have a chance to look at it again once the hat is kind of constructed. But other than these eyes, I have all of my pieces here. My brim, my main hat, my tops, my interfacing. So I am gonna start constructing my hat. Next step in my pattern says to attach the fusible interfacing to the brim of the hat. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna attach it to the inside of this fabric because it is more forgiving than just the straight red, just in case anything goes kind of funky. And I did make it just a little bit smaller than my brim of my hat, but I'm going to trim it down just a little bit more. Perfect. Okay, now that I have the fusible interfacing on here, it is time to take everything over to the sewing machine and get it attached. Okay, so I'm supposed to start by sewing the brim pieces together. Just gonna pin them first. And then we'll also be sewing the crown pieces together. I think now that everything is cut out and kind of lined up to how it needs to be, everything is going to go quickly now. That's what I think. That's my prediction. Now I do need to still attach the eyes to the red, but I think I'll do that just before I sew the inner and the outer together. And I decided on black thread. I looked at red, I looked at like a white kind of color. Against this blue, the black doesn't show up, and against the red, the black kind of looks like webs. So that seemed like the right idea. This will also be my first time sewing through fusible interfacing, so I hope this does what it's supposed to do. not sure how to sew through this because it won't push through. What do I do? What do I do? Trying something different. I just have some felt underneath, and I'm hoping that gives it some slide. It's still not working. What am I supposed to do here? Okay, so today I learned I either don't like fusible interfacing at all, or I don't like this type of fusible interfacing. I think the only solution is that I need to now stitch these by hand. So I'm gonna sew everything else I can with the sewing machine, and then when I go to stick the eyes onto the red, I will also sew the brims of the superhero together. I think that's the only solution. If you have another solution for running stickier kind of fabrics through the sewing machine, please let me know below. I need to sew the, put that to the side, the crown to the brim. And I need to face pretty sides together to do it. So it'll go this way. So how I will do it, I will pin my seams together to start. And then have to figure out how to lay the rest of it. Okay. Now I just kind of try to sew around it. Oh, I did it wrong. Exactly what I thought I did wrong. No! Ugh. Okay, so now that I've seam ripped everything that I just did, I am going to pay more attention. I need the hat to be connected this way. The bigger opening on the crown needs to connect to the smaller opening on the brim. And that's why things weren't lining up properly. Okay, that's doing what it's supposed to do. Let me work on the other side or the other material, and I will be back. Okay, so I have that all sewn together now. Now I just need to attach the top of the hats. And for this, I'm actually gonna notch it just for the ease of for the ease of lining things up, I am going to just notch this out. I will do the same with the red. And now I'm gonna get these sewn and I will be right back. Coming up on the home stretch, I now need to sew my Spider-Man eyes on. So hopefully they fit and everything looks how I want it to. They might be a little bit big. This is when I wish I had like a form for it. But that's the idea. I'm gonna start by sewing the eyes onto these, like all the felt pieces together, and then once they're not falling apart on themselves, I'll see what I can do to get the eyes attached. I am in the home stretch. I have the eyes finally pinned on. I'm just gonna stitch around on the black and attach them. And then I need to sew my two pieces of hat together. I'm so close to being done. I've been working on this for hours, but it looks great. So it's worth it. Okay, I have my eyes sewn on. They are on there, no moving them now. And I'm now gonna just sew my two pieces of hat together. They need to be pretty side to pretty side. And I just need to leave a hole so that I can flip them. Pretty side to pretty side. I almost messed that up again. My eyes are on the front. So my hole, I'm gonna put it in the back. This is it, last step. Last step. We will start, well, let's just start at the hole. That is so cute. Oh my God, that turned out so good. Okay, that was gonna be my last step, but these seams are a little puffier than I'd like. I'm gonna do some top stitching, at least along the brim here. That has turned out great. Perfect, 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 perfect. All right, that is my reversible bucket hat done. I now have my completed gift. All in all, that kept me off of my phone for about 5 hours. It did take me a while to get this done, but I think that it was because it was my second time with a pattern ever and my first time using this pattern. So I think if I were to do it again, it would take me a lot less time, and I'm sure I will make it again because it comes in like every size imaginable. I do still have some more sewing videos coming up for some more gifts that I want to give, but for today, that is all I have. Thank you for hanging out and watching today's video, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!